You are live.
Well, hey ho, anybody home? Meat nor drink nor money have I none. Still I will be merry. Hey ho, anybody home? We're bound away on a long, long journey. God only knows where the road will end. We're bound away on a long, long journey. One thing I know is that I'll need a friend. Take my hand, walk it beside me. The road is long and sweet will be our rest. Take my hand and walk beside me. The answer to this riddle is our lifelong quest. Finding leads to losing. Losing lets you find. Living leads to dying, and life leaves death behind. Losing leads to finding, and that's all that I can say. No one will find life another way. This world is not my home, I'm just a passing through. My treasures are laid up somewhere beyond the blue. Well, the angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I got no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what will I do? The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Anybody home? Meat nor drink nor money have I none. Still I will be merry. Oh, anybody home? Hey ho, hey ho. Hey ho, anybody home? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Lots of goodies today. You're going to meet some extraordinary people. You're going to meet Stan Dotson and Kim Christman, who are friends of mine who are stringers and singers for years and years and years. And you're going to meet Judith and Lisset Rodes, two singing sisters. And you're going to meet Elise Witt, who is an internationally known singer, music teacher, improviser, workshop leader. So I'm a pretty lucky guy to have such an awesome cast. But first, a couple of songs. I have been thinking a lot about home today, especially because some of my guests are people who are not in what would be their ancestral home, their family home. And so I've been thinking a lot about what it means to be home and to be away from home. And so this first song is a song called I Dream of Home. I want a place to hang my hat. I want a place to hang my fears. I want a place to spread my clothes. I want a place to spread my tears. I want home. I want a place out of the sun. I want a place that's safe and warm. I want a place to learn to stop. I want a place to learn to run. I want home. I want a place to stand and shout. I want a place to sit and cry. I want a place to think things out. I want a place to wonder why. I want home. A place to sleep in peace. A place to be revived. A place to catch my breath. And a place to feel alive. A place to bring my friends. A place to be alone. A place to let down my defenses for a while. I'm dreaming of a place called home. I want a place where I can scream. I want a place where I can dream. I want a place to know my limits. I want a place to speak my passion. I want a home. I want a place where I can stand. Oh, I want a place where I can fall. I want a place where someone cares. Or a place where no one cares at all. I want home, home. I want a place to be with you. I want a place to be alone. I want a place with open doors. I want a place to call my own. I want home. A place to sleep in peace. A place to be revived. A place to catch my breath. And a place to feel alive. A place to bring my friends. A place to be alone. A place to let down my defenses for a while. I'm dreaming of a place called home. Dreaming of a place called home. Dreaming of a place called home. There's a wonderful story recorded in the Gospels. One of those amazing Jesus healing stories. The story is of the man who was, as the Bible puts it, possessed by a demon. We might describe it differently in different language today, but nonetheless, he lived out in the wilderness of Gadara and apparently was uncontrollable, People didn't come to see him. He lived in the wild. And this is the story of his healing. I will start inside on the strings, since our theme today is strings and sings. Well, I thought I would play this because it really uses the inside of the strings. This is called The Wild Man. Among the tombs, and no one comes to see me anymore. They can't control me, they cannot buy me, they cannot chain me. Would you like to come see me? I'll sing you a little song. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, I'll kill you. Who is this I see coming up the hill? I know you, Jesus, God person. I know you, stay away from me. I don't want you here. I'm frightened now. He's walking right up to me. What's your name, he says. My name is Legion. I am a mob. And then he speaks to the demons within me. His words like thunder, like a hammer blow, like a red explosion. Who is this sitting here, fully clothed, in my right mind? Where are the demons? And where are the pigs? Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, I am home now. Happy birthday to me. I should like to introduce to you now two people who have been for me teachers, mentors, guides, because they are ambassadors of God's kingdom and ambassadors of goodwill wherever they go. Stan Dotson and Kim Christman are a couple of wonderful people. They are married. They are both musicians. They are pastors. They are lovers of God. They are children of the kingdom. They are ambassadors of God's goodness all over the world. Stan and Kim, howdy.
Hey, good to see you, Ken.
There you are. Good to see you. It's been a long time since we have seen each other. I think the last time we saw each other in person was at a Baptist Peace Fellowship meeting somewhere down the line.
We always love crossing paths with you.
It always is a pleasure. So let me ask you, how are you guys filling your time these days? What are you up to? What kind of kingdom mischief are you up to?
Well, after having lived in Cuba and working there for the better part of 6 years, we came back in December due to COVID and a lot of things, and have been working here to strengthen relationships between churches here and there, and that's kept us really busy as we continue to hope and pray for the time when we can return.
And I think with your first song about home, even though we were born in the United States, we found a lot of what home is in Cuba with the people there, with the churches there. And so, it's a home that God keeps calling us to and keeps providing ways. And we're just eagerly waiting for the next door to open.
There, and you have taken on the Spanish language. And so you are doing a lot of singing and music in Spanish, so that you really have become comfortable in that new home. And home is where you find it. Home is not necessarily where you're born. Home is where you find it, for sure. Well, why don't you sing?
Well, I wanted to just share about the language piece is interesting because 7 years ago or so, we were invited to come after traveling 25 years on short trips. We were invited to go and live a year. And I was really terrified because, unlike Kim, I didn't speak the language very well at all.
Okay.
So I spent a year in preparation, learning the language, by and large through the music. Someone gave me sort of the Cuban songbook of the old trova that the troubadours sang in the 40s and 50s. And I learned and memorized those songs. And there's this one image, in the first few weeks we were there, we were in the back of a cattle truck with about 50 other people squeezed in on a trip to the beach. And I had my guitar with me and could barely have room to get the guitar up to play. And I started playing this song, one of the old trova songs. And I mean, it just set the whole back of the cattle truck on fire because it was one of their favorites. They started singing. This woman from the other corner of the cattle truck squirmed her way through to come over and sing, and they would improvise verses. And not only did that help me learn the language, but it really made connections and relationships that have continued and strengthened to this day. So we're going to do that song that lit up the back of the cattle truck. And it's called
El Cuarto de Tula, which means Tula's room. And the chorus means that call the fire department, call the bucket brigade. Tula's bedroom is on fire. She went to sleep and forgot to blow out the candle. Her house is burning down.
And like so much of Cuban conversation and music and whatever, everything has a double meaning. So you can imagine a song about Tula's bedroom being on fire. You can imagine what the double meaning is. But people love that song.
Yes.
So we're going to sing.
Oh, yes. Okay.
1, 2, 3, y...
Del barrio La Cachimba se ha formado la corredera. Del barrio La Cachimba se ha formado la corredera. Allá fueron los bomberos en sus campanas y sus sirenas. Allí fueron los bomberos en sus campanas y sus sirenas. Ay, Ay, mamá, ¿qué pasó? Que el barrio La Cachimba se ha formado la corredera. Que el barrio La Cachimba se ha formado la corredera. Allá van los bomberos con sus campanas y sus sirenas. Allá van los bomberos con sus campanas y sus sirenas. Ay, mamá, ¿qué pasó? Ay, mamá, ¿qué pasó? El cuarto de Chula se quedó candela, se quedó dormida y no apagó la vela. El cuarto de Chula se quedó candela, se quedó dormida y no apagó la vela.
Kim, the instrument that you are playing is the hammer dulcimer. Maybe some of our folks have not experienced a hammer dulcimer before. So give us a little hint as to what hammer dulcimers are all about.
I'll just hold it a little closer. It is the great, 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 great grandmother of the piano. It's like the inside of the piano. And I like to tell school kids that I am a superhero because I can pick up a piano in one hand. And the strings are the exact same kind of strings that are inside a piano, and I use these two hammers. They're like those old wooden ice cream spoons we used to use, but they from them developed the hammers that are inside a piano that hit the strings when you play the keys. And so after several generations, people made it bigger, put a top on it that you could lift up and down and play keys on. So, but it's a hammer dulcimer. And it's been a great source of strength and sanity and joy for me for many, many years.
And I can imagine too that when you travel to new places, it's always a point of interest for audiences. It's always something that draws their attention.
It's been quite attention grabbing in Cuba, that's for sure. We were able to get one down there, and it's still there waiting for me. And but people love music there so much, they're willing to teach me things, and I'm teaching some new students to learn so they'll be able to play.
Marvelous.
And so it is quite it's a community builder, actually.
Yeah. I recall a recording years and years and years ago when Pete Seeger met Ravi Shankar in India. And Pete Seeger had not experienced any of the Indian instruments, the tabla and any of those things, and Ravi Shankar had never experienced the banjo, and so there's this old recording of them sharing those instruments together and how amazed they were. You know, I'd love to see that instrument. So, I'm just so thrilled with what you are doing in terms of being ambassadors of the kingdom. Finding your home in Cuba. We could talk about Cuba for a long, long time, and I'm sure that you guys are eager for relationships to be more open than they have been.
For sure.
You have another song.
Yeah, unlike the dulcimer, the guitar is not quite as exotic an instrument in Cuba. It's pretty well known and well played, and there's a lot of great guitar music. And one of the musical connections that we made to deepen our relationships is that we found out that the old trova, the old troubadour music, was not the only thing that everybody loved. We found out early on that there's another generation of troubadours that sing more contemporary kind of music, and the most popular one of those is Silvio Rodriguez, sort of the Bob Dylan, John Lennon of Cuba, with hundreds of songs that everybody loves. And also, as a country, they love the Beatles. And so we found people who love both the Beatles and Silvio, and we started putting their music together. And we have a little group called Con Fe Mezclado, and three of we call our Cuban daughters are in that group. And I want to shout out to Dianelis, Elise Witt, and Gibi. This is one of the songs we do, and it's a combination of fusion of While My Guitar Gently Weeps and Silvio's song called La Masa. which basically says if I don't have my beliefs, if I don't have my root values, believing in balance and delirium and hope and madness, if I don't have the beliefs, what good am I? I'm like a sculpture with a chisel and no rock to work on. So this is Silvio and George Harrison. 1, 2, 3. Si no creer en la balanza, la razón del equilibrio, si no creer en el delirio, si no creer en la esperanza, look at you all, see the love that lies sleeping, while my guitar gently weeps. I don't know why nobody told you how to unfold your love. I don't know why someone controls you. They bought and sold. Qué cosa fuera, corazón, qué cosa fuera la masa sin cantera. Qué cosa fuera, corazón, qué cosa fuera, qué cosa fuera. Still my guitar gently weeps.
Without the certainty that I am loved, without the sureness that I am known, without the joy of this connection, how would I be so desperately alone? Without the love of the kingdom, without the care of all God's children, without the feet that propel God's love around this world, I would be so desperately alone. And even when this guitar gently weeps, and even when the tears fill my eyes, and even when I cannot sleep, and even when this whole world just makes me cry, still I know beyond the shadow there is sunlight. Still I know beyond the night there is morning. Still I know beyond this day there is everlasting hope. So weep my guitar and weep these weeping eyes. Weep for the joy, but weep for the sorrow, and weep to know you're not alone. You are God's own in the kingdom. Light beyond the shadow, tomorrow beyond this darkness, music that lasts forever and ever and ever. So pick up the dulcimer, pick up the guitar, and pick up the piano, and play and play and play and play and play gently weep. Just had to do that. Wow.
Oh, wow.
We should go on the road together.
Let's do it. I'm up for it.
Wow.
Oh, that was fun. It was fun to take little phrases and bits and pieces. You are going to introduce our new friends that I have not met in the flesh, but we have now met on screen. And I am so eager for all of our audience to meet these wonderful, wonderful people.
Well, we have known Lisset and Judith for many, many years. We know their mom and dad, and we know them from our first visits to Cuba. And then we knew when their parents came to the United States, and our paths have crossed like rivers going to the sea. And they're school teachers, they're musicians, they're people of inspiring faith, and they make us laugh all the time. And so they have a friend with them. I'm going to let Stan tell them about Elise.
Yeah, Judith and Lisset are like sisters, and their parents are our Cuban parents. And it's a little bit intimidating, I have to say, to play Cuban music with them because they're top notch. But they have a lot of grace and mercy to let us do that. And they introduced us a couple of years ago when they brought their friend Elise Witt to visit Cuba, and we were in some workshops with Elise and played in some jam sessions. And she's phenomenal in her work with improvising, with songwriting, songs for peace and justice. And
And Elise has a great gift at enabling people to find their voice through music. And I found that to be such a blessing. And so I can still remember when we were in the circle, all three of us and some others from the church, and how that feeling of freedom and joy just came through the music and our time together. So I'm so glad that we could do this program with them, and I guess we'll pass it over then.
Well, good evening to all. Lisset and Judith and Elise, it's good to see you, good to be here with you. We could never do this live and in person. You know, there have been some blessings in this pandemic. Are you there?
Yes.
Well, I can't hear you. Are you muted, maybe?
Can you hear us now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, we could, you know, if I keep saying if I were doing some concert in a church in Houston or Oklahoma City, I could never bring you all to that place, and so we can do this on screen, and it's such a great blessing. Lisset, when did your family come to the States? How long ago?
I came with my son in 97. He was
in 97. Okay.
Yes. And since then, I have been living in Atlanta and working as elementary school teacher, teaching Spanish to little kids. And I do believe that through music, that mainly based my teaching in using the music
Uh-huh.
to introduce them to another language.
Are you teaching in a public school?
Yes, I do. For Decatur, city of Decatur, right now.
Decatur, yeah, yeah. So, Hudik, I have a question for you. Uh,
Yes.
you've been living here now how long?
For 8 years now.
Now tell me, how, when you think of home, when you think of the home that you long for, where is it?
It's in Matanzas. It's
Yeah.
the place where we grew up in Cuba and where my parents live and my family and my friends. And, uh, I moved to, I went to live to Spain when I was just 23 years old, and I lived in Spain for 17 years.
Uh-huh.
And Spain is kind of became a kind of second home too.
Okay.
But Matanzas, my country, Cuba, is the one that takes the most of
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
heart. Mhm.
Elise, where has home been for you in the years past?
I actually was born in Switzerland. My parents are both from Germany, and we came to this country when I was 4. But I've been in Atlanta for, oh my goodness, I think 40, 44 years now.
Okay.
So this
Okay.
is really home. I have a
This,
little,
yeah,
like, my
yeah.
farm at. I have a big garden. I grow a lot of food. We just actually had a delicious salad from my garden.
Ooh, lovely.
So my roots, my roots are all my parents' families come from many different places, but I think like so many people here, there's a lot of things that get braided together
Yeah.
into one place.
I'm so interested in your improvising work because, of course, I love improvising and have done workshops like you have all over the place, teaching people to start simply and just pick up a harmony and find their voice. And so I so resonate with um, what you're doing here and there and everywhere. And one of these days we'll improvise together.
We shall. I
We
want to
shall.
honor my teachers. My main teacher now, and Judy and Lisette have also taken some workshops. But I've been studying since 2006 with Rhiannon, who sings with Bobby McFerrin and has been in Good Voices for us since the beginning, 40
Yeah.
years. And
Did
she's
did
from the area. She lived many, many years in the Bay Area. But she is an incredible improviser and teacher. And I
did you
think
ever get to do did you ever get to do that summer thing with that McFerrin does?
many years ago, yes,
Yeah.
at
Wow.
the Omega Institute in upstate New York.
Well, I want us to get to music. I want us to get to some music. So, what is the first song that you're going to sing? And tell us a little bit about it, somebody.
Um, the first song is written by a Cuban woman composer, and that song for many generations uh, within the time of the revolution. And we grew up in the revolution, and so I we learn many of the things that we do now from listening to her songs. And this song is called Lo Feo, and it talks about how we see beauty even in the called ugly things,
Uh-huh.
and how we see. She wrote a lot of songs for children, and this is one of our favorite songs, Lo Feo.
Her name is Teresita Fernandez,
Ah,
and I want to actually read a little bit of the translation because the poetry is so beautiful. She says, "In an old wash basin, I planted violets for you, and since I was near the river, in an empty snail shell, I caught a morning star for you.
oh,
In a broken bottle, I kept a firefly for you. And on an old fence, there was a coralillo vine curling and blooming for you. Oh, garbage pile that no one wants to look at. But when the moon comes out, your tin cans shine. Tiny cockroach wings are carried to the anthill. When I die, that is the way I want to be carried to the cemetery. To the things we see as ugly, give them a little love, and you will see that sadness can change into color.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, let's hear it.
De Teresita Fernández.
En una palangana vieja sembré violetas para ti. En una palangana vieja sembré violetas para ti. Y estando cerca del río, en un caracol vacío, cogí un lucero para ti. En una botella rota guardé un copullo para ti. En una botella rota guardé un copullo para ti. Y en una cerca sin brillo se enredaba el coralillo, floreciendo para ti. Basurero, basurero, que nadie quiere mirar. Basurero, basurero, que nadie quiere mirar. Pero si sale la luna, pero si sale la luna, pero si sale la luna, tus latas van a brillar. Alitas de cucaracha llevadas al hormiguero. Alitas de cucaracha llevadas al hormiguero. Así quiero que mi muerte, así quiero que mi muerte, así quiero que mi muerte me lleve al cementerio. A las cosas que son feas, ponles un poco de amor. A las cosas que son feas, ponles un poco de amor. Y verás que las tristezas, y verás que la tristeza, y verás que la tristeza va cambiando de color. Y verás que la tristeza va cambiando de color.
Oh, I love that harmony. It's so sensual and so, it gets under the skin so beautifully. Oh my goodness, what a lovely sound. And thank you for reading that poetry. Bruce Coburn has a song a little bit like that. It's a song about a pile of trash in the city. And when the sun comes up in the morning and shines on it, it becomes beautiful. Or when the snow falls on it in the wintertime, it becomes an amazingly beautiful thing. So yeah, that's so well said. Have you got another one?
We do.
Okay.
We have a song of, I wrote this song and then Lisset translated it into Spanish. So we do it as a bilingual version. And I really love, we decided we didn't want to do, okay, now we're doing the English, now we're doing the Spanish. We're really braiding the two versions together. And this is a song that I wrote on the occasion of Dr. Martin Luther King's 80th birthday. We're here in Atlanta in the home place of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his family. And I was honored to be invited to provide music for the celebration at the home place. And the speaker that evening was the Reverend Timothy McDonald, who is a just fiery, amazing, wonderful, not only pastor, but also musician. He and his wife sound like Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, but he also is in the midst of anything that is happening in the way of social justice here in the city.
Uh-huh.
And so when he said these words, I knew they had to be a song. He said, We cannot lie our way to truth. We cannot spend our way out of debt. We cannot war our way to peace. So this is called Set Us Free. And here it is.
Okay.
Porque mentir para buscar la verdad. We cannot lie our way to peace. El mundo gira y girará. Porque mentir para buscar la verdad. Mentir nos destruye. Amen. Lying will destroy us. Amen. Mentir nos destruye. Amen. La verdad nos liberará. Truth will set us free. Porque gastar para endeudarnos más. We cannot spend our way on we spin and spin the earth. Porque gastar para endeudarnos más. Ambición destruye. Amen. Greed will destroy us. Amen. Ambición destruye. La sencillez nos liberará. Generosity will set us free. Porque guerrear para lograr la paz. We cannot war our way to peace. El mundo gira y girará. Porque guerrear para lograr la paz. La guerra destruye. Amen. Violence will destroy us. Amen. La guerra destruye. Solo la paz nos liberará. Peace will set us free. It will set us free. Hoy bailando así, ay mira con Elise Witt. Dancing will set us free. Justice for all and everyone. Justice will set us free. Joy, 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 joy. Set us free. Joy will set us free. Only the language of love transforms. Love will set us free. Love will set us free. Oh, yes, sing it with us. Love will set us free. Yes, it will. Love will set us free. One more time. Love will set us free.
You have taught me in these moments. You have taught me and made me realize. You have taught me in these moments. You have opened up my eyes. I cannot sing my way to freedom nor to justice. I cannot sing my way to the changes that must come. I cannot sing my way to the will of God being done. It takes my body and soul, my hands and my feet, my eyes and my ears, my actions each day. I cannot sing my way to the kingdom, at least not alone. Sometimes I think, if only I can sing it, then maybe it will happen. Is that my excuse? Sometimes I think that music is the end all, and I don't sometimes realize my thinking is so loose. So here's what I'm asking the God of love, help me go beyond the singing. Help me make the moves, 'cause I can't sing my way to justice. I can't sing my way to freedom. Only love will set us free. Only actions and words set us free. Hands and feet in love will set us free. Eyes and ears in love will set us free. Making sacrifice in love will set us free. And then, perhaps, after all of that, it might be cool to sing. Well, I got to tell you, it has been a serious pleasure to have you all on the show. The songs were wonderful. To hear you speak about home and about what are your passions just is enlightening and inspiring. I want to thank you so much. I'm going to end with one song, and let me say again. Let me say to the audience, next week it's just you and me, and we're still thinking about what next week's theme will be. But if you have a story about a surprise that has come to you during the pandemic, something that could only have happened during this year, we'd love to hear about it. Message us on Facebook or write to ken@kenmedema.com. I'd love to get some stories from you about surprises that have happened during this past year. And next week, I'll have some announcements about our website, because things are really rocking on that website. But one last song I should like to sing. Again, thanks to Beverly for producing this, even though she had cataract surgery today. So she's working with one eye pretty much. Sonia, our local camera operator, is not here because her niece is graduating from middle school tonight. So there we are. Next week, it's just us, sort of like the good old days. But this is our last song. This song simply says, in this beautiful country, we pray for peace. In this beautiful city, we pray for peace. In all the world, we pray for peace. En este lindo país, oremos por la paz. En este lindo país, oremos por la paz. En este lindo país, oremos por la paz. Oremos Oremos por la paz en esta linda ciudad. Oremos por la paz en esta linda ciudad. Oremos por la paz en esta linda ciudad. Oremos por la paz. Oremos por la paz en todo el mundo. Oremos por la paz en todo el mundo. Oremos por la paz en todo el mundo. Oremos por la paz. Oremos. 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 Oremos por la paz. And don't forget, the song is alive everywhere. The song is alive everywhere. You are the ones who get to give the pitch. For the song is alive everywhere. Oremos por la paz. Good night, everyone. Write to us, will you, about surprises during this next week. See ya.